You know that moment when one message changes your entire body. Your chest tightens, your jaw locks, and suddenly your peace is gone. Someone says something cold, ignores you, questions you, disappoints you, and within seconds, your mind is already building a courtroom. This is the hidden reason some people stay calm while everything around them burns. They are not stronger than you. They have simply learned where their power actually begins. Most people believe calmness means nothing bothers you anymore. That sounds peaceful, but it is not real. Even the calmest person still feels the sting of disrespect. They still feel fear when life becomes uncertain. They still feel heat rise in the body when someone crosses a line. The difference is, they do not hand their mind over to the first feeling that knocks on the door. And in a moment, I'll show you the small inner pause that changes everything. But first, you need to see the trap most people live inside. A person cuts you off in traffic, and your whole nervous system reacts like you were attacked by a tiger. Your hands grip the wheel harder. Your breathing gets shallow. You replay the moment 3 times before the next red light. The strange part is, the other driver is already gone. They are not in your car anymore, but they are still driving around inside your head. This is what spiritual teachers call unconscious identification. It simply means you become whatever emotion appears. Anger comes, and suddenly you are anger. Fear comes, and suddenly you are fear. A thought appears, and suddenly you treat it like truth carved into stone. But here is a different way to look at it. You are not the storm moving through your body. You are the sky that notices the storm. That may sound poetic, but it becomes very practical at 11:47 at night when someone leaves you on red. Your mind starts writing stories. They do not care. You did something wrong. You are being abandoned again. But if you can notice the story forming, you are already not trapped inside it. That noticing is the beginning of freedom. Now let me back up for a second, because this is where people misunderstand mindfulness. Mindfulness is not sitting on a cushion pretending you are above human problems. It is noticing that your coffee is getting cold while you argue with someone in your imagination. It is realizing your shoulders are up by your ears during a normal email. It is catching the exact moment your body says, "We are in danger," even when you are just reading a sentence on a screen. The first shift is simple. Name what is happening before you become it. Instead of saying, "I am furious," try, "Anger is here." Instead of saying, "I am anxious," try, "Anxiety is moving through." This sounds small, almost too small, but the brain treats those two statements differently. "I am anxious" fuses you with the emotion. "Anxiety is moving through" gives you a little space around it. And that little space is not weakness. It is a doorway. Picture a glass of muddy water sitting on a kitchen table. If you keep shaking it, the water stays cloudy. But if you set it down, the mud slowly settles by itself. Your mind works the same way. Most people try to solve emotional mud by shaking harder. They overthink, explain, defend, text paragraphs, check for signs, and call it clarity. But clarity often comes when you stop stirring. And here is where it gets more important. The trigger is rarely the real wound. Someone cancels plans, and the surface feeling is irritation. But underneath it, there may be an old fear of not mattering. Someone criticizes your work, and the surface feeling is defensiveness. But underneath it, there may be a child still trying to prove they are enough. This is why your reaction sometimes feels bigger than the event. You are not just responding to this moment. You are responding to every similar moment your body remembers. So the practice is not to shame yourself for reacting. The practice is to become curious before you become controlled. Ask yourself, what is this really touching in me? Not in a dramatic way, just quietly, like turning on a small lamp in a dark room. Because once you see the deeper wound, the present moment stops looking like the enemy. Now comes the most powerful part. You do not need to control the outside world to protect your peace. You need to stop making every outside event the owner of your inner state. A rude person does not have to become your ruined afternoon. A delay does not have to become proof that life is against you. Someone else's mood does not have to become the weather inside your chest. This does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you respond from your center, not from your wound. There is a huge difference. Reaction throws a match into the room. Response opens a window. Reaction says, I need to win this moment. Response says, I need to stay awake in this moment. And that is the pause I mentioned earlier. One breath before the reply. One hand on your chest before the spiral. 1 second of silence before you hand your piece away. That pause may look like nothing from the outside, but inside, it is a revolution. Because in that pause, you remember that you have a choice. You can feel the anger and not become cruel. You can feel the fear and not abandon yourself. You can feel the sadness and not turn it into a story about your worth. This is not becoming untouchable. It is becoming deeply rooted. Like a tree in heavy rain, you may move, but you do not leave yourself. One day, the same message arrives, the same tone appears, the same chaos knocks. And instead of collapsing into the old pattern, you breathe. Your shoulders drop, your eyes soften. Something in you stays home. That is real peace, not a life without storms. A self you no longer lose inside them.